Lips of Steel, unscripted, unfiltered, and unstoppable. And today we are going to be talking about communication. Effective communication and all the ways that we can improve how we relate to other people in our life, whether it's our children, our partners, our bosses, our coworkers, our friends, anybody in our life. And I have a super special guest with me today. This is Bill Stierle. And Bill and I have known each other a very long time. Very long time.
Absolutely.
And we have a bit of a history.
We do.
It's going to make this super fun.
It really will.
And Bill I would consider a bit of an expert on communication and all that. So tell me a little bit about your background and what you do, and then we're gonna set an expectation for this.
Yeah, this is great, Nicole. It was a delight to hear from you and to be invited on this show. And as somebody that provides communication support that changes people's lives, because if you pick better words, you get better outcomes. If you pick better thoughts, you get better progress. And being able to really connect to what is an authentic moment can really make a big difference. So through my career, I've been helping people to transform their communication and even in very difficult communications with high conflict, or people going through divorces, or people having trouble at work, or bosses and employees, all communication. We're going to talk about those various different elements today. So excellent. I feel great that we're going to share it with your listeners.
Yes, absolutely. So let's, we were talking just before we started filming about what would I want to get out of this podcast, and kind of took us down this path of the 4 immutable laws of expectations.
That's correct.
Setting expectations, and what does that look like?
Yeah, this is really hard because human beings, we come into a very important moment in the field of time, and these 4 immutable laws of expectations have some simplicity to them, but they're actually hard to follow. So number 1 is getting used to the concept of number 1 is whenever the event begins is exactly the right time. Try not to put too much pressure on a start time. Yes, it's important to be timely. Yes, it's important to be 5 minutes early. But at the same time, there's other points of life and other things that can kind of knock you out of it.
Right.
And we're starting this podcast when we are starting it. And it's really healthy for us to say, okay, we did plan on this start time, but let's call this the right time.
Got it.
Whenever the event begins is exactly the right time. So that's number 1. Number 2, whoever shows are exactly the right people. Now, a lot of times we'll think, oh, if only so-and-so was here, or so-and-so needed to hear this. Boy, I wish my mom would have, or my dad would have gotten this message earlier. No, they were not meant to get it. Whoever shows are exactly the right people. Number 3, whatever happens is the only thing that was supposed to happen, that could happen.
Right.
Because this is the one that bothers me the most. Because I will try to fit all of my years of experience into this podcast.
Right.
I'll try to
jam
more wisdom and knowledge and experience than they could possibly fit.
Yes.
And it's going to keep going. Why not just do, okay, we're going to do a really nice part 1, and then we might have a nice part 2, and then there could be a part 3. Yeah. And then, it takes the pressure off of trying to fit in everything in the field of time. Then the last one, number 4,
which keeps things organic.
It keeps it organic.
Right.
You don't try to wedge too much. You don't go over as much. You just go
You're
like,
not
okay,
following a timeline. I'm going to do this, and the checklist.
Yeah, you just got to stop, and go like, enough is enough.
Got it.
Number 4, when it's over, it's over.
Now that's one I have a hard time with.
It's creating closure.
Right.
And then that invites a new moment.
Right.
Have you ever had people in the past that tell you something that you did wrong 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 7 years ago? That is a moment that closure did not take place.
Got it.
The person that's bringing that up is still carrying the emotional energy or molecules of emotion in their body all those years.
kind of akin to like a grudge.
It's a grudge. It's a rumination pattern. It's a thought pattern that
Right.
they're trying to work through. And they say, "Do you remember when you see, you remember when that?"
Like, no, I've had so much happen in my life. I've completely.
I completely forgot about it. You're like, I understand that was a big man. Oh yeah, yeah.
But you know what? That is where miscommunication takes place because
Right.
they're carrying that energy. You've let that energy go. You're off on another thing. You have an interaction, and that interaction is like a baseball game with basketballs. Right?
Yeah, they're dragging the thought and the molecules of emotion from the past and into a present moment. Human beings only get to live one moment at a time. Do you like the pause? Because that's the pause.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's
oh,
right
now
now.
that just moved into the past. Now that just moved into the past.
Right.
So we don't get the start of the show over again.
I mean, we could.
You
But it'd be
could.
a different, but it wouldn't be the show.
It wouldn't be the show.
Yeah.
This
It-
is
it
the
would-
show.
it would
So
start
it's
as-
really important for us human beings just to take and just gently allow things to move into the past. And if there are things that we need to clean up from the past, clean it up by not spinning it positively, not explaining why it happened, but to be able to or mourn or let go or engage the loss in a way that creates closure. And that's what communication can do for us, is
So
create
you said
good
engage
closure.
the loss.
Engage the loss. And those are called a series of disappointments.
Oh.
I
So,
felt
I mean, I
disappointment.
guess I'm assuming that we're talking about disappointments, not necessarily.
Disappointments.
I mean, because, closure comes even with positive things too. Sometimes
That's
people
correct.
carry.
That's a moment of celebration.
Right.
Fantastic.
Right. So that
that's-
can also
right.
impact if you don't say, okay, this celebration is in this container
That's right.
and in this space.
That's right.
and-
Wasn't that a great wedding we went to?
Right.
Wasn't that a great event we did?
Right.
Remember the time when this and this happened?
Yeah.
And then a moment of celebration comes by. Now, people tend to repeat the negatives more than the positives.
True.
Would you like to know why that is? Yes,
Yes,
there is a brain reason for that.
Okay.
So the main thing is as we look at the front part of our brain, it's a 400,000 neural connections happen here. 400,000 neural connections per micron. The back part of the brain, the limbic part of the brain, has 4.3 million. So it's a 1-to-10 ratio.
Got it.
What that means is emotion and habit always wins over logic and future thinking.
Got it.
Emotion, habit, those two things
Yes.
win over logic and the future thinking unless they're integrated. Most people don't have an integration take place. For example, my New Year's resolution is ... whatever
Right.
the dot is.
Right.
Everything from, lifestyle to food to whatever.
I'm going to realize all my dreams.
Whatever the thing this year is
Okay.
going to be.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, 30 days later, or wait a minute, not even that. You walk through the kitchen of the New Year's party and the cookie is in your mouth before you even know.
Right. Habit.
That's correct. The habit and the emotion of that overrides what you just said, future thinking and the logic of this is the good reason why that would be a good thing.
Right.
Again, the molecules of emotion are very powerful and they're directly tracked to our language and the words we pick and the words we speak and the words we think.
So kind of reaching here, but you said that about the logic and about the emotions and the habits and all that stuff. Is there a stronger biochemical link to that?
Yeah, that's the thing is that we want to pull it into our body and pull it out of our head.
Okay.
So by naming the feeling that we have and naming the need that's causing it, then what winds up happening is we build a better physiological congruency between our thought and our thoughts and our body. So like many times I'll start a training or speaking engagement with having people tap. I just have them all stand up and say, I feel tired, I need rest. The word rest is causing the biochemistry of tired.
Got it.
rest, tired.
So this is that needs-based communication.
Yes. So this is the lane of emotional intelligence. This is the lane of needs-based communication. I have a series of needs here. There's 40,000 unique neuroreceptors in the heart space.
Okay.
That's no place else in the body. The heart thinks.
Fair.
So you got to speak words to it.
Okay. Got to talk to the heart.
It's got to talk to the heart.
Okay.
The thing is, you got to pick. So which ones? Is it the need for choice, or is it the need for fairness? Is it the need for respect, or is it the need for consideration? You got to pick.
Got it.
Now, every moment you get a choice to say which one's affected. So right now, I feel delighted because my need for connection is being met with you. Right. Notice I just spoke to your heart and you just lit up.
And I just felt it. I did.
Zip right in your direction.
Yes.
All right. So as listeners, you could be feeling energized because your need for learning is being met.
Right.
Energizes the feeling, the biochemistry, molecules of emotion, neuropeptides, and the need that's causing it is the need for learning.
So let's talk about when it's not in alignment.
Right.
So when my needs are not being met and you have the emotion,
Yes.
then out comes behavior.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
let's
that when
talk
they're
about-
not when they're not in alignment, that means that we're up in our head and we're using a vocabulary.
Okay. Or
That
we're using our
is
bodies.
disconnected.
Or
Something's going on that's not right in the world.
So let's break it down to, something that most people are going to be able to relate to.
Sure.
Let's talk about a toddler.
Oh, toddlers. They're my favorite.
Aren't they? They're
Yeah.
the best. They're everything because they do all this stuff without, they just do the thing. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about, you've got your toddler walking through a grocery store. I want.
Wonderful.
Right.
Could you be feeling delighted?
And you say no.
Yeah, that will not go so well.
And then ensuing tantrum.
Yeah, that does not go well.
Right.
So this tool allows the parent to reduce a tantrum in 3 sentences.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Could you be feeling curious? Would you like to see the thing you're pointing at? The kid says yes. You bring the package down, you put it in front of the kid. They have it. I did this with my kids with Toys R Us. We used to walk the aisles in Toys R Us and they get so excited about things. And we'd fill the basket with all the things.
Huh?
Whatever they wanted, they put in the basket. And then I would ask them the question, would you be willing to tell me, how would you play with this in the living room? By the end of the aisle, they were done with the toy. Because they didn't see it. The packaging was the stimulus.
Right. Which is exactly how marketing is.
Thank you. Well done, actually. So
it's done its job to, well done marketing.
I am trying to encourage their curiosity, their discovery, their learning apparatus. My job as a parent is to build in not emotional intelligence and to make them good choosers in the world.
Right.
So
not consumers.
Not consumers. So
Right.
So if I pull something off the shelf and they put it in the basket, it has not cost me anything yet.
Right.
I am managing, are they really desirous of the thing, or is the marketing hijacking the limbic part of their brain, emotion, and the habit to have this thing in their presence?
Yep.
And then by the end of the aisle, they have 3 things. And I know that I'm not going to buy all these things. It's not financially secure. It's not something to do. And then, by the way, by the end of the aisle, they didn't like 3 of the things they put in. They got to start learning how to focus on their own choices, which one of these things. And their brain's going to go, I want all of these things. But then after a little while, they're going like, no, I don't want that anymore. I don't want that. But the one I really want is this one. So as soon as we're done this exercise of practicing choice with a young child.
It sounds like you said a word earlier, though. You said curiosity.
Yes.
And it sounds like using curiosity will take you out of that power control struggle. Because
Right.
kid says, I want, and the parent, of course, is going through their, I don't have time, I don't have money. That's all they do is they want things. And the first response, I would say, a good percentage of the time is no.
That's correct. The word no is used somewhere between 20,000 to 200,000 times between the age 2 and 6.
It's no surprise that one of the first words that a child says is no.
That's correct. As soon as they get to 6 and 7, they've already practiced hearing and trying to figure out how to get around the no.
So they learn manipulation because
That's right, because we train them to.
Right. And then, as
Right.
parents, they're going through as their kids get older and older and become more autonomous and are
Right.
doing their natural progression, which they're
Oh,
supposed to
it gets
do.
worse. If they're a teenager and they've got to get in a car and one of their friends has been drinking and wants to say, no, I'm okay, I'll drive.
Right.
They have no power because you ran over their ability to say no in a safe way. They go with peer pressure and connection and get into a dangerous situation. They have lost their ability to have choice. Because
And rather than lost, they never developed it.
That's
Because
right. Then thank you very much. Yeah,
right,
that's a
because
good
you said
modification. That's right.
habit, emotion,
That's right.
logic, and I'll get these, but they didn't integrate those
That's
spaces.
great. Yeah, they can't
so
see it.
that
Right.
They
No
cannot,
practice.
and we talk about as a nurse and I've worked with families too,
Sure.
and parenting and all that stuff.
Sure.
We always talk, and also raising 7 kids.
Right.
We talk about the fact that their frontal lobe is not developed, and they blah blah blah. Well, that's only part of the story.
Yeah, that's
it's
right.
It's not that it hasn't developed; it hasn't integrated.
Yeah, and that's a good point too. Is that we are parents are their frontal our children's frontal lobe. We are their logic and future thinking.
Right.
The only challenge is that they don't have it yet.
Right.
And we have to teach them the language to get from here to
Because
here.
they start with the emotional language. What is a child's first communications?
Crying.
Or
Yes.
smiling.
Smiling. Thank you very much. Yes. There's
Right?
the celebration of a smile or the sadness of I'm uncomfortable, I have gas.
Or whatever it is.
Whatever
However,
that is. That's correct. Or I have a
So
disappointment.
that is their first communication, and it's potentially two opposing emotions. So they're communicating with emotion.
That's right.
That is
When a
connected to
kid,
need,
well, here's
potentially.
exactly. So when a kid hits their brother or sister, they're not hitting their brother and sister. What they are is using the only tool they have to communicate.
Yeah.
So they're using their physicality instead of their words because they don't have enough words yet.
Develop the language
There's
of emotion.
there's not enough words there. Instead of just looking at their brother or sister and saying, I feel mad, I need fairness. Or I feel irritated, I need consideration. Or I feel aggravated, I need choice. They have none of those sentences.
Right.
There's no emotional integration. So Nicole, think of language, and this is something for your listeners too, is that think of language as 2 layers here, and I'm holding my 2 hands up here for your listeners out there. It's the language of context is like the word no. Yes, no, good, bad. Those are all context. And then underneath that language, and I have my hand underneath that, there is the molecule of emotion and a need that's driving it. So my request for parents is whenever you're about ready to say the word no, replace it with the subtext word, which is the word choice.
Yeah.
So when you replace the word no with the word choice, and you start moving your language around the word choice instead of yes, no, good, bad, you get yourself out of all kinds of corners that parents paint themselves into. Right. Yes, no, good, bad, right, wrong. It becomes, I feel scared and I would like a safety choice. I would like a considerate choice. I would like a mindful choice. I'd like one that is more kind. Right. Whatever. So you're using choice instead of the word no.
Got it.
Which gets the other person to think, oh, I have access to choice. I have advocacy too. I can choose.
And one of the things, and this may be like jumping into a different hoop here, but it does kind of apply, and at least it's how it applied when I learned different ways of parenting in my home
Right.
was about family value framework.
Yes,
And
family
using
value
the
framework. Yeah.
family values framework, and we'll just use the word respect. And if our family values respect, instead of like, Mom, I was using this example with somebody the other day. I want to stay out till 2 a.m. And
How old's the kid?
teenager.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Not a 5-year-old. I want to stay out till 2 a.m. Okay. Well, you could say no. And then what is their first response going to be?
Mom, Dad,
But
whatever.
you're not fair,
Push
you're
back,
mean,
whatever. Mean.
you don't
But all my
trust
friends are going to be
me.
there. You don't trust me.
All the things.
A lot of
right?
noise showing
all
up
the
there.
noise, right.
Right.
So having the conversation of, well, first meet it with curiosity. Why? What's happening between or maybe let's say our original time frame is 12. What's happening between 12 and 2? Because there may, as a parent, there may be something that we don't know about, right? So asking the question, getting curious. If there's nothing that's significant for me, it would be when I would talk about respect, it was like, in our household, we all kind of go to bed. We value sleep. We value health. And because we respect each other in a family, when you come in at 2:00 in the morning, I'm probably not going to sleep. I'm probably not, I'm not going to be rested or you'll wake me up.
Okay, so that's on the parenting side.
On the parenting
and
side.
on the family side. So let's get back on the kids side. Okay,
Right.
so I'm going to be a parent, and I'm going to listen to that sentence. Here's my empathetic guess in their direction. It sounds like you feel. It sounds like you're making a request to stay out to 2 a.m. Did I hear that request correctly? Yes.
Clarity. So getting clarity.
Again, clarity, but I just changed a demand into a request.
Got it. Okay.
Now I've introduced choice now. That they have choice and I have choice. That they get to say no and I get to say no by just inserting the word request. One word creates the pivot.
Got it.
Now we're allies. Curiosity, great. I feel curious. I need some understanding and clarity about the good reason why you want to stay out to get connection with your friends, or is there a transportation challenge? Tell me a little bit more about why the request is 2 a.m. Again, I'm telling it as a request.
Yes.
Because we've already had a family value and agreement. I'm not on my side. I'm going to be worried till 2 a.m. to get in bed, or I'm worried about your sleep or getting to school in the morning, whatever the thought is in my head.
Okay.
I'm going to be curious and say, and then say, listen, what is the obstacle? Well, we're going out to do this, and then we're going to do that, and we won't be able to get back here until 2 a.m. because the party's going to be this way or that way. Oh, so this is about connection with your friends. Yes. And you just want to stay out to celebrate with them. Yes, all the people we're doing. I'm doing the same thing as I'm doing with Toys R Us, but I'm doing it with the event.
Right.
Which is, let's look at this packaging. What are you trying to sell me with this packaging? I'm not sure if I want this packaging.
Right.
So
because it's really true. Kids are the best salespeople, aren't they?
They learned the language of marketing and sales because they've been boiled in it. So we've got to take them out of the pot and say, no. We get access to what we're purchasing. Mm-hmm. We don't get somebody to yank us to sell us anything that they want. Mm-hmm. So I'm pulling it back and saying, okay, this is what I want. Well, now I'm going to bring it my side. I feel torn. A part of me wants you to go to celebrate with your friends and connect. Another part of me has a need for rest for you and a need for rest for me. Another part of me has a need for consideration for you and a need for consideration for me. Can you at least say those things back? If they want something, then they better hear what's alive in me.
Got it.
Oh, so you're a little worried about sleep? Yeah, actually I am. And I also have a need for safety. Can you say safety back? Oh, you have a need for safety? Yeah, I kind of don't want you to drive, at 2 a.m. Now, they'll tend to go into problem solving. Well, maybe I can spend a night at my friend's. Maybe I can do this. Or maybe I'll come in at 1:00. All of a sudden, they're trying to meet my need for consideration and rest.
So they're negotiating.
They are negotiating from a needs place, not from a results place.
Got it.
Where parents get stuck is it's my results.
Got it.
Instead of building emotional resilience inside my kid. I'm trying to toughen them up to deal with multiple emotions.
Right. I have a phrase that I have used a lot, and I said, I didn't raise kids. I raised adults. Every single one of my kids has become an adult.
That's correct.
They did not stay kids.
No.
I sent them off into the world, and I had to send them equipped with everything that they needed to live out there in the world with all of the obstacles and all of the things that came their way.
That's right.
And
That's
my youngest, she just spent her first year in college and was, on her own.
Yes.
And, I mean, she was an independent kid to begin with, but she had a unique set of tools that she went off with that because I learned a lot of the stuff kind of through you and through other modalities that I brought it in.
That's right.
That, I started from day one with her.
Right. Needs-based narrative. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The needs-based narrative really is makes a
And I
difference.
feel like she developed the language of emotion and developed the ability to connect
Right.
the logic and the forward thinking with emotions and habits and all of that.
That's
in a very unique way, I will
Right.
say.
Everybody takes their pattern and builds language.
And it is,
Yeah,
she
it's
is
fascinating.
but it's absolutely fascinating to watch the results of that. And, but I got my older kids, I didn't have that when they were younger. I was parenting by habit.
That's right.
By the way I had been parented. So it was
That's right.
partway through their nurturing and their growing and being raised by me that I started incorporating this.
That's right. That's right.
So,
That's the way it works, man.
you
only get the door only opens whenever the door opens, right? So
like
there's
the immutable
stuff
laws of detachment.
so detachment, so expectation.
I bring
it's
this
like
up
it's
because,
good.
People that are listening right now,
Right.
My target audience is women in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, there's probably women out there that are having their first babies in their 40s. It happens.
That's right.
I have a friend that had her first at 46.
That's it.
And, she had twins at 51. So, hey,
Yep.
if you may be out there having a baby, get these tools and start with them fresh. But we all do not have that luxury. So let's
Always take the
moment.
moment. Always take the moment that we're in right now. If you're hearing this for the first time, just notice that this is the moment that you're starting, and that you have times that you can clean things up. So even with my kids, there are things that have happened in the past that I know that are going to come back up, and then I'm going to have moments of cleanup.
Right.
This did not go so well for you. You would have liked me to do this differently. You would have liked me to say or do something differently. I hear how that you interpreted that way. Would you be willing to hear a little deeper about what was going on in my side at that time?
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden you're dragging them into adult accountable thinking.
Right.
Which is
Which they're more
a
equipped
little
to
bit of a
do.
desert right now. The accountability thinking. Right. Are you accountable for your words? Are you accountable for your actions? Right. It's hard to hold people accountable these days. So we want to use our language to increase our accountability. Empathy increases accountability inside both the speaker and the listener. Here's a little factoid, because you mentioned a diamond. There was a diamond that happened earlier today I'm going to bring back forward in the field of time.
Okay.
And it has to do with the word respect. Very important moment. The word respect, and for all of you listening, it's really unsettling to say this, but physiologically, neurologically, a kid can't understand the concept of respect, its definition, or actually how to apply it until after age 14.
Okay.
So if you go to a 10-year-old and say, respect your parent, they are going to look at you like, I have no idea what language you're speaking.
Got it.
The parent has an imagination to think that's either A, that's what my parents said to me,
Right.
or B,
'cause it was
you should know this by now. You've lived with me long enough.
Right.
The answer is, I'm 10. I'm building language the best way I can. It's like a Lego set, and I don't know where the pieces fit. I'm just putting words and phrases together because that's actually what is happening neurologically in their brain.
Yeah, it's not one of those pre-designed sets.
No, it's not.
It's
not a pre-designed set. That's right. That's right.
That donation, and I borrowed this from my preschool.
Oh yeah, I brought it from this preschool.
Yeah.
So if they're having word salad and word soup, showing up, and words and phrases are coming in from teachers, from coworkers, and they're coming in at different times and different developmental times, they many times don't know what the word means or what the concept is.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about my daughter Malia, who's now 41. There was a time, 31. There was one time she was like maybe 13, and I had a need for consideration and timeliness. I needed to get somewhere, and she wanted to go with her friend somewhere. And she got so mad and angry. She went and said, I never get what I want. And she went into the room and slammed her door. I think she might have been 10 or 11, or 12 or so, somewhere in there. So she slams the door, and I knock on the door. I go, I'm guessing you feel angry and you really want to choose to do what you want. If you want to work with me to get your choice, let me know. I'll be out here in the kitchen doing dishes. In other words, basically, you're upset. It's your feeling and your need. I am naming it through the door. And she literally, within about, 3 to 5 minutes, she opens the door. I don't know how to get my needs met. And I was like, that was the moment.
Right.
I go, so are you requesting to go down to the grocery store to get candy with your friend? She goes, yes. Well, I feel worried about timeliness. I need to go pick up some computer parts at the computer store. She goes, by 9 o'clock. She goes, I can be back in 10 minutes. I go, well, then you can go. so her and her friend bolted out.
Yeah.
Went, got the candy or whatever they got back, and got back. When her friend came back, or actually it was her cousin, when her cousin came back, she goes, can we go to the computer store with you? I go, yeah, sure, great. We went out to the computer store. It was all smooth, but we had to work through her idea and that her language. She didn't know what consideration was. She didn't know about what my needs are. All she was focused on is exactly what she was to focus on. How do I get my needs met? And how do I manage my emotions?
And I will make a wild guess that she did not, none of that was conscious. It was
none
just
of it was
all
consciousness.
Deep in
It
that.
was all limbic brain stuff.
Right.
It was
all the habit, all the emotion.
I don't know how to
in
do
the
and she was doing a tantrum,
My favorite
a middle school,
quote
Yes.
about tantrums. Do you remember?
I don't, tell me it. So
A tantrum is an unmet need expressed tragically.
Yes.
I love that. I've used
Tantrum
that
is-
so many times
it is.
with children and adults.
And it's only 5 words. It's 5 words. It's either they're doing a tantrum because their need for choice isn't being met, their need for being heard isn't being met, their need for consideration isn't being met, right? Maybe connection. Well, I'm pissed off already just saying those 4 words. As an adult, if I'm not getting those things,
Right.
well, I'm ready for an adult version of a tantrum.
Right.
So
We see it all the time.
I see it all the time. And the person is not in touch with any of that.
Right.
So all they're doing is going, wah, that's all they're doing.
Yeah.
But they're wah with a whole bunch of crappy words.
Right.
And that's the thing for us to do is to grow our access to stronger need word relationship. I know what my series of top 20 needs are, and I know the feelings that go with those.
So we have to do some work.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just
This is
it's
not-
not a lot. It's not a lot. You just got to formulate. You got to put the words in the order that creates the right vibrational resonance. And I know this is the first time we're talking about vibration, but I'm going to pull it to my body and say, I feel because I need, and then I am going to let that come out of my mouth. So no matter the tragic word or phrase that shows up, we got to immediately pull it back to our body. So here, let's do this one. Just let's point at me and say, Bill, you're a narcissist. Go ahead and do that one.
Bill, you're a narcissist.
So now all of a sudden, it doesn't meet my need for truth, so I'm going to feel doubt. And then it's going to also feel, it might feel irritated because it doesn't meet my need for like respect, maybe. Okay. So, but you're launching a vibrational word in my direction, and I have time to catch it.
Right.
And when I catch it, it might sound like this. Oh, Nicole, could you be feeling angry because I'm not meeting your need for respect or recognition? I literally took the word narcissist that came out of your consciousness and I dissolved it and set it aside and say, is this more about respect or recognition? You know, that I'm getting my needs at your expense?
Got it.
Where is that narcissist? So every label and diagnosis, everything from the word idiot to...
Not saying that there aren't true narcissists out there. However...
Okay, so then I appreciate that. So you start a label and diagnosis. This is like the best language hack. Label and diagnoses are called an interesting place to start. Do not end, because the person will always show up as a narcissist even when they're not being one. So all of a sudden, as soon as you label somebody, then you are limiting your ability to have empathy and compassion for their tragic behavior towards you. I'd rather just diffuse their tragic behavior right on the fly.
Right.
So instead of calling them a name or going into a diagnosis, I'll start with it's an interesting place to start, but then go into how do I do proactive empathy, their feeling, their need, a proactive request, trying to get them to clarify so they don't move the goalpost on you. Have you ever had people move the goalpost?
Yes, absolutely.
And they move the goalpost because they're actually looking for empathy before problem solving. And that's the thing that are
Kids
like...
do that a lot too.
That's correct. They're coming to us and they're upset and they are telling us a story, and parents go into problem solving too soon. Don't solve anything. Deal with the emotion first. It's sitting right there. So you're mad and you had a need for kindness at school and your friend didn't meet your need for kindness. Yes. And we're playing together and all of a sudden, you know, they said this. Oh, that didn't meet your need for fairness. Yes. See, now I got kindness. Now I got fairness. Now I know where the problem is.
Right. There's a real life example. This was years ago we were talking about it, and I think it might have been your younger one, Tristan. And you were battling with him over pants and shorts.
Oh, God.
Great example.
It was go through that example, because that to me was just like, wow. And just the whole process you went through with him, because this really is a battle that every parent has, whether it's pants or God knows, whatever it is. So
you never know what's going on inside the body of your child.
right.
So it's a good idea to check in. Tristan, when I see that you have shorts on, I feel worried and scared that you're going to be cold at school today. I'm okay, Dad. Now, I want him to wear long pants. He wants to wear short pants. So could you be feeling more comfortable with short pants than the long pants that I would like you to wear? Yes. The long pants are too tight. He then starts coughing up why the long pants don't work. The long pants don't fit me right. The long pants are too short. I don't like the color of the long pants. It's not, he'd rather go for something that is not only more comfortable, but also somebody said something about his long pants. They don't fit him really good. I don't like it. At school, I can't run around, and which is actually what happened. It's like, yeah, at lunchtime, I want to be able to run around in the long pants. I can't run around and climb on the gym. I was going, oh, it's not about temperature. Temperature's on me.
Right.
So now I hear that you want to run around, and that's why you're wearing short pants. He goes, yes. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Would you be willing to wear this other jacket? He goes, okay. and the jacket's warmer. So what? His legs might be a little cold for the first, time period.
Yeah.
But that's me and my parents thinking about temperature.
Right.
Not the reality that's showing up in his body.
Right.
Yes, I'm not going to let him run out to the street because it doesn't meet the need for safety. Yes, I'm going to hold him back and have a discussion about how safety works regarding a road.
Right.
At the same time, if he's looking both ways, he's meeting his own need for safety as he's checking out his environment so he can make his own choices as a young adult and then adult in the future. He needs practice on making his choices.
Well, and also by wearing the short pants, even if it's cold, he's making the choice to be cold, comfort for running around versus the issue with the temperature.
That's right.
Which may be a lesser need for him.
That's a lesser
and
need
if
for
you've
him.
been on any college campus in the Midwest, those boys are wearing shorts when it's 30 degrees outside.
It's really unsettling. And the reason why college dropouts happen, the reason why is a person is at school and all of a sudden all of these choices open up and they have no practice with choices.
Right.
When we were growing up, the only rule that showed up is, hey, when the street lights come on, you got to be home. Right. I mean, it was you could go where you want, and there was a general sense of safety and protection
and
self-regulation that was happening for young people at a very young age.
Right.
That's not the kids we got. The kids we've got have car seats and have been, and it's not to say the need for safety.
They have wipes warmers. I mean, let's get real here. They have freaking wipes warmers.
There you go.
I mean,
it's right there.
No, I said no to the wipes warmers. Absolutely not. I felt like every kid needed ice cold.
A little shock, baby.
Shock to the system.
That's right, baby.
Toughen those little kids up.
So
I want to kind of dial back a little bit and jump into the nuts and bolts.
Sure.
So all of these things that we're talking about, there are some specific tools that this is associated with.
That's
some
right.
Training, some certifications that you have.
That's right.
And I think, when I started learning a little bit more about all of these things, I kind of dove into it a little bit myself.
Sure.
One of them is NVC.
That's right.
Nonviolent communication.
Yeah, that particular tool is very helpful on the path of learning emotional intelligence. The tool has 4 steps. It's organizing 20 to 40 words in a way that reduces conflict. So if I do a high conflict mediation and I'm growing into a large group of screaming people at a city council, I am actively taking a guess. What did the person say? That's an observation, what they say or do. What is the feeling word, the energy, the feeling that they're with their sentence? What need are they going for? What is the need that's causing that feeling? And then what is the request? And I don't have to be right. I just need to guess on these 4 things.
And you guess it by?
I feel curious. Could you be feeling frustrated? Mr. Jones, could you be feeling angry because you have a need to be heard in this city council meeting? Yes. Now all of a sudden I know what you need I'm working on is respect or being heard. He might say, no, it's respect. Don't worry about it. They'll self-correct. So you're really angry about respect. That's right. I've come here and I've told them about the issue 5 times and they're not respecting my opinion. Oh. So you have a need for being heard and a need for respect. Is that correct? He says, yes. Okay, let me see if I can get that for you. He's going like, get that for you? Me? What do you mean? I've been here for 6 months. Nobody's gotten that for me. What would you like the council or the mayor to say to you right now to meet your need for respect? Now the person's accountable. Right. His need, respect. His need.
He gets to ask for what he needs.
He gets to ask for it. Now, they're going to bumble a little bit because most people are not put on the spot to meet their own needs. They expect, just like a tantruming child, they expect the parent to hit them with a wipe, hit them with a warm wipe so they feel better.
No.
Or tell them no, stuff like that, and then they're ready for the fight.
Right.
So whatever he said next, I turned to the mayor and say, Mayor, would you be willing to say that back? He said yes, and he said it right back. Sir, did that meet your need for respect? And the person goes, yeah, and then there's another sentence. And also I'd like the counselor to hear this. Great. I turn to the counselor. Is the mayor okay? Yes. Okay, the mayor said that back. Did I hear that correctly? Yes. He looks at all of us. He says, now we're getting somewhere. Nothing has changed
Right.
other than his need for being heard and his need for respect.
Right.
Now we have a collaborative narrative rather than an adversarial narrative where people are shooting language at each other in a tragic way.
Right.
Welcome to our current society. All you got to do is have a text with a word that turns out to be a hand grenade word, turns out to be a landmine word or phrase.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
it'll blow up. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So words like abandoned, words like attacked, those are all hand grenade words.
Yep.
Even though they might be true and they might have an accurate description, they're not helpful because shrapnel is going everywhere.
Right.
I wasn't attacking. All I wanted you to hear was, well, yes, you are.
Right. So it goes,
Yeah.
and there it goes.
There we go. So that's the current problem. That's the current challenge. And it keeps me employed, but it also keeps me in a position where I can contribute a solution to, a transformative experience for the parent or the couple in relationship or, a business owner that's dealing with complaints. Right. There's ways to change the language so that the other person says, oh, I don't have to complain to this person. They kind of get what I'm going through. And
it's taking the time. I think one of the things we a very fast-paced way of living, and I was going to comment about that earlier with the dealing with the kids. I'm imagining some listeners are hearing that process and going, "Look, I just need to get my kid ready for school and get them out the door, get them there on time because I got to go to work." And how can I do all of these tools?
Well, then be vulnerable. Be vulnerable. The parent needs to be vulnerable in that moment. You really feel tired, you need some rest, you'd rather go back to bed. You feel really irritated and you don't want to get ready for school. Yes. And it sounds like that there's other things that you'd like to do today. And they go, no, I don't like school. Really? You feel a little irritated about something that happened in school? Yeah, my friend said this to me. Now it's not about getting ready.
Right.
It's about their emotional carry from yesterday or from 2 days ago about somebody saying something crappy and they've been ruminating about it and it's making their school experience miserable.
And I think this comes from the fact, and the point I was making though is that parents in incorporating these tools though.
That's right.
Because they're so stuck in the hamster wheel of life, they're not taking the time to practice. They may not.
Taking the time is not as powerful as they don't have the skill, awareness,
right,
or the skill to be able to say better words. So I like to give parents a free pass in regards to you were not taught how to speak and think this way. Stop judging yourself. Learn some skills of how to use nonviolent communication or use empathy and compassion in a new way with this new tool,
right,
so that you can navigate through and just gently start swapping out sentences, swap out vocabulary words.
Right. So you're saying that is a way to incorporate.
That's right.
And we just talked about NVC. That's just one of the tools.
That's right.
And learn it.
Right.
And don't have an expectation that it's going to come out automatically and you're going to incorporate
it's a practice. Practice. It's two people playing a tennis match with language. You and your kid. You're going to lob the ball over to them and see how they hit it back.
Yeah.
And then they're going to miss it and you got to lob it over again. And one of the famous ways to do that is to check in to see what they listen to. So if I come in and say to Aiden at age 15, he's now 24, at age 15, Aiden, I see you're playing on the computer and you're playing your game over there. I have a need for support. I'm doing your laundry. Would you be willing to pick all the clothes off the floor and put them in this basket? He says, yeah, Dad, I got it. Aiden, would you be willing to tell me what you've heard me say? Yeah, you say I have to clean my room. Here it comes, baby. Thank you. I have more. Thank you. He didn't hear what I say. He didn't say a damn thing out what I said. I didn't say any of that stuff. I didn't say clean your room at all. I didn't say it at all. He just bounced it to the concept. Says, Aiden, would you be willing to listen again? I have a request. I have a request to put the clothes in the basket so I can do laundry. Can you tell me that sentence? Oh, you just want the clothes in the basket? Yes. Would you like to do it now, or would you like me to come back in 5 minutes and interrupt your game again? Oh, no. got his butt right out of the seat.
You can say ass. It's okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's right.
You say ass. That's fine.
So,
Totally fine.
so it's
Unfiltered. That's the unfiltered part.
Oh, this is the unfiltered.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go then. Yeah. So it's their butt comes out of the seat and does the thing. And I said, hey, I feel grateful. Hey, have fun on your game. I'm now getting my need for support met, but check in to make sure message sent is message received. That's first thing.
Check your read receipt.
Check your read receipt. And then the second one is mind reading is overrated. Do not think you know what vocabulary is in that other person's brain.
And
You've got to tell me what you've heard.
Every relationship you have.
That's right.
It doesn't matter parent, child, partner, friend,
That's right.
work, every relationship. This takes place because we all come from a different space.
We all come from a different space, different background, different layers of language, of everything from children to, siblings. All those things are contributing to our language development.
Yeah.
And if we know how to, as we learn and choose to say, what did they say? What's the feeling that's going with that? Either mine or theirs. What's the need that's going with that? And then claim the power back on our side by having control of the request. What are you requesting from me? Here's what I'm requesting from you. And you're reintegrating choice back into the conversation. And that makes a really huge difference because now you have a collaborative communication rather than power over. Power over works, but it's only short term and it can cause a lot of wreckage. So we want to not make more wreckage because we have enough of that.
We got a lot of wreckage.
Got a lot of wreckage going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, with parents that are making a decision to learn these tools, well, NVC and there's NLP, which is another.
Yeah, there's a certain set of sentences that are helpful in that space too.
NLP is Neurolinguistic Programming.
That's right. There's certain phrases and sentences that are very helpful in that space. And this particular one manages emotions a little bit better. That provides extra bells and whistles for how to manage our own emotions and our own actions and our own motivations. So yeah, there are different languaging threads.
And then there's some other stuff that you and I talked about this 30 some odd years ago when my kids were little was the whole brain dominance
Yeah,
model.
the thinking style lane. That's
like
very, very
massive.
helpful. Very, very helpful.
Understanding where they're coming from, where their dominant part of their
thinking style
is
huge
thinking
difference.
and learning styles.
Yeah, that's right. That lane. So there's 3 lanes. There's the thinking style lane, like you're mentioning, is this person a logical, rational thinker or interpersonal thinking, and these are different vocabulary threads. Are they on the creative space or are they on the implementation or organization space? So certain words, certain jobs, and this is how human beings have learned through language how to become collaborative and cooperative with each other. Okay. And that collaboration and cooperation allows expansion for us as a species, because then we can exchange with each other to mutually meet each other's needs. Sometimes it goes very positively. Sometimes it doesn't go so well because one group is meeting their needs at the expense of others. So using these different tools can help us create better connections and have better experiences moving through the feeling of frustration or anger or annoyance. We can move through them a lot quicker. You don't have to get stuck on them.
Right.
Because that's what happens. People get stuck.
Yep. Even with all the tools. I mean, I feel like I've got a pretty nice sized toolbox.
Yeah, you do.
You know,
Yes.
I'm always adding
Always
on to
adding
the
tools,
top of it
baby.
because-
That's right. And then there's tools and practice. Tools, practice, and awareness. And go like, oh my gosh, I said it this way. Gosh, next time I just say it this way. And all of a sudden you just cut through this.
Right.
Yeah, if you want business acceleration, well, probably a good idea to be in alignment with your customers' needs and not try to meet them proactively, but try to find out what the most important ones are and do
Right.
those.
Yeah.
And then it goes way, way better.
And that comes up like if you've got a friend or a partner or a kid that loves to tell stories.
That's
and they
right.
go on and on and on and on and on. And they've got this great story for you. And
Yeah.
let me stop you for just a second there. What's most important about this to you? Get to the core and communication can take place there. 'Cause
That's
otherwise
right.
You're just like going,
They're running on and on. Oh yeah. So this is a famous moment in the field of time that you and I can actually have some fun with.
oh boy.
And it's the sentence called, do you ever have a friend that talks more than your ears would like to hear? And all of us that are listening on there go, oh yeah, I got a friend, I got a parent, I got a sibling that talks way too much that my ears would like to hear. So now I get to teach everybody the magic sentence to get that conversation to shift. Here it comes. Hold on one moment. I want to make sure that I've heard what you've said fully. They will stop on a dime. As soon as you put the word fully in there, I want to make sure I've heard what you said fully. They'll stop for a moment. Then, as a listener, I'm going to repeat back the last 7 to 13 words, or even repeat it back verbatim if I know what they said, and then say, did I hear that correctly? And then they'll say, well, and it's really spooky. They go, yeah, and, see the and? That is called scratching the record, the habitual record of telling the story in the same way, and they will start condensing the story on their own. Oh, you also like me to hear this second part. Oh, you like me to hear this third part. Eventually they're going like, you're such a great listener. I'm going like, that's a part of it, but actually I'm interested in your story, but I'm interested in the time that we're spending, because usually this would have taken a 20-minute time period, but I just cut it to 90 seconds.
Right.
I just cut it to 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I cut the time down because I'm telling you that I'm intentionally listening. Therefore, you don't have to pour a bucket of word soup on my head.
Right.
You know,
Interesting. That's an
it's
interesting
very, very helpful for
dynamic,
us.
actually.
Very helpful to slow the other person down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. And I have like only a dozen cool stories with that.
I'm sure.
because the people grow up with their need for being heard not being met.
Right.
They grow up without their need for choice being met. They grow up without their need for expression being met. So all of a sudden they're just word,
Which impacts on, some core things that I hear with women all the time is their feeling of worthiness. Mm-hmm. So not being heard, not being, they're not having choice and all that really impacts on that core sense of worthiness. And
I want to now contribute to that piece because that is extremely valuable. The need for being heard is one of my personal most challenging needs growing up in my childhood with a very talkative mother and a very talkative older sister. One of the things that I learned is there is a sentence that you can practice to make sure that your need for being heard is being met, especially with kids. It might start simply like this. Would you be willing to tell me a little of what you've heard me say? Or would you be willing to tell me what you've heard me say? Now, because people's listening is not great, you got to be ready for them not hearing anything. Like the Aiden example I gave you before, they heard it and they interpreted it and spun it, in the wrong direction.
Right.
So I just said, would you be willing to tell me what you've heard me say, and be ready for monkeys eat glue. Remember something that is, be ready for, they don't have anything that's close to what you said. Eat glue, you never
I didn't
know.
hear that.
I know. It's like, what did he just say?
Say that again?
You can, that's right. You be ready for they didn't hear anything close.
Right.
Then here's the response. Thank you. I have more. Don't correct. They're listening.
Right.
Okay. Aren't you listening to me? Mm-hmm. Respect your mom. Respect your dad. Listen to what I'm saying. You never listen to me.
Right.
That's not the way it goes. The way it goes is, thank you, I have more. Well, they didn't listen the first time. I'm going to give it another shot. So, hey, I have these clothes and I have this laundry, and would you be willing to put it in now? Or would you like me to keep coming back here and keep bothering you?
I love that part. Or would you like me to just, Yeah, I love that.
Would you like me to keep coming back and throw that out? Very, very helpful to reclaim your need for being heard by being an advocate of checking in to see what's been heard, and how much it's been heard.
And that's accountability also.
It does.
It's your own personal accountability. You're being accountable.
You are being
to the message.
To your own need. Right. Damn right you are.
Yeah.
Because you're going like, I have a need for being heard, and I'm just going to stay here a little bit with a language pit bull. Would you be willing to tell me what you've heard now? Yeah. Gosh, thank you. I have more. Say the same damn thing back to them.
And it's, again, gosh, we're going back to that. That first part was like really good, but expectations.
That's right.
And, if we always have set ourselves in the expectation that someone else is going to meet our needs.
Oh, you're going to get creamed there.
Right.
Yeah, it's not going to go well.
No, it is not.
No, but you can't keep advocating for that in the field of time.
Yeah.
You have a moment, and if they missed it on this moment, then ask them on the next moment.
That moment was over.
And then
okay, cool.
Over. They missed it. They didn't hear a damn thing I said. And they say right here and then right here. So you're managing your need for being heard. And like a set of dominoes that are wound up all the way to the past, and this is what I experienced like a shock, it's once I got my need for being heard met and I knew I could get it met at any time, click, it knocked all the times when my need for being heard wasn't met in the past. Mm-hmm. And that's called healing trauma, is what that is. So you want to get your need met in a given moment so that you can experience of, it didn't happen back then. And then take a breath and let it go in a really healthy way.
I work with clients who have some deep traumas, and that's, helping them to feel empowered in their current space.
Right.
And knowing that they can control going, from here going forward.
Right. That's right.
Absolutely has that. It's a butterfly effect.
Right.
It absolutely goes back. And
that's
and it's almost, I would say almost 100% of the time, they take a deep breath, they let the breath out, and they're like, wow, that just offloaded a whole lot of shit.
That's right.
So that dominoes, I think that's a very great visual of seeing those dominoes fall, because that is the experience I have that people share with me, is that, wow.
And those dominoes are moments of evidence that their need for being heard wasn't met. Moments of evidence where their need for respect wasn't met. Moments of evidence where their need for acknowledgement wasn't met. And when you knock it, it just zips them all down. You're like, well, at least I got it in this moment. And I know that I got it met in this moment. Right. And I can build or restore my self-worth, which is what we're coming back to. So we're restoring it by re-scripting a healthy narrative for what happened.
Right.
And then
and build from that.
It's built from that.
Instead of from it's like building a house. Like this is really,
yeah, I know.
Rebuilding a house.
We're rebuilding the house.
Listen, we could probably talk forever about that. But a lot of us are our foundations.
That's right. Our language foundations are just
sand, a few sticks, maybe.
the way they were.
It's
That's
just,
exactly right. Stand and
we were the
listen.
house of sticks, and the wolf comes to the door, little pig, let me in, and our house gets blown to shit.
That's
Because
right.
we did not build that house with the tools.
That's right.
And then we get
That's
next
right.
we get to, or actually the house of straw, right?
Right.
Then we built
That's
it with
right.
sticks, and for
That's
me
things,
personally,
yeah.
I'm working on that house of bricks and
Yes.
continually, strong foundation, strong structure.
Yeah, with a healthy door to come in and out.
Right. Keep out the.
Yeah, no one to open the door. And empathy can be that swinging door to go like, well, I'm going to just use a kind of like a protection line of empathy here and say, listen, I really feel torn. A part of me wants to do what you just asked, but another part of me really doesn't want to do it. And the person goes, uh-oh, what the hell just happened? Yeah, part of me wants to contribute to you, but another part of me doesn't think my need for fairness is going to be met. But wait a minute. And they're stuck on their side. They're going like, because I have control of the door.
Right.
I feel torn. I part of me wants to do it. Another part of me is going like, don't. And then the lean in question. It's real. It's real.
That's the real shit. The real
That's
stuff
shit.
because
Yeah.
we don't always have it one way or the other.
Right.
In relationships, we have our stuff, and it can go both ways.
That's correct. Yeah, and then we can healthily talk about what a healthy version of fairness looks like, what a healthy version of respect looks like.
How can we normalize that though? I mean, that's okay. Like even in my friendships, I have some friends that completely normalize this type of a conversation and this type of languaging in a conversation. And honestly, that's part of where the concept of this podcast came from.
Sure.
And the idea of lips of steel, forged in experience in the fires of experience, right?
Right.
But
right.
it's normalizing that type of languaging and those type of conversations of vulnerability.
Yes, and vulnerability is important because you're authentically here, but vulnerability does not mean weakness.
No.
What it means
absolutely
is
not.
I am connected to what my needs are and the losses that it's showing to.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
I want you to say that again. That is big and that is important. My vulnerability
is I have strength and access to the needs that I have that is not working for me, and the losses that I'm experiencing. So I have strength and vulnerability because now I can say, I feel torn. That's vulnerable.
Yeah.
A part of me would like to support you, and another part of me knows that if I do that, it doesn't meet my need for respect or fairness or consideration. If I do what you asked, I'm not going to do it with joy. I'll just have resentment. Is that what you would like between the two of us? The person goes like, holy crap. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Because the other person's going like, well, no. I want you to do it. But now all of a sudden they've got to like be accountable for their action. So you can ask somebody else to do it on their impact on another person.
Right. And I think that's the one of the problems is people are, I don't want to bring up the word narcissist, but
their language does not allow them from manifesting the label of narcissist or sociopath or whatever the label is, bipolar, codependent. I can do this all day.
Right.
Each one of those labels has a series of needs and feelings underneath those, that the person is trapped in the language. That's the takeaway. Trapped in the language. Yet you and I are talking about here's language that is the skeleton key to unlock those things.
Right.
So if you are with a difficult person, it doesn't mean stay with them. It just means protect yourself in a different way so that you are not losing connection. You are gaining self-worth and strength and internal protection and internal respect in dealing with that person. Doesn't mean it just means it's going to be easier and healthier rather than I need to build a boundary wall between me and them. physical space and physical different distance are appropriate for some people. Other folks will say, well, if I just use this language, I get around the wall and all of a sudden I'm completely empowered and I haven't lost the damn thing.
Right.
Which is really the empathy is a very powerful tool to provide us boundary and protection work, but it's also proactive because you're de-escalating and de-arming the other person's words.
Right. And continuing the
fun.
connection, because like you said.
And continue the connection.
Right. Because
very powerful,
building
Nicole.
walls breaks connections, and we are, as humans,
We
are connectors.
That's correct. Connection, community, collaboration, cooperation is where we work best.
Right. So walls are not going to.
And walls do not help us with that.
Between, any
No,
of it,
that's
people
right.
say, oh, this is my boundary. I'm putting a line in the concrete, not a line in the sand.
No, eventually,
well,
somebody breaks it down and go like, how could I need to
either
build
they
a
break it down
stronger
or they
wall?
Turn around and walk away from it.
So
And
distance
which is
can
why
be,
people get divorced.
Thank you. There it is. Because I don't know how to deal with the molecules of emotion in the field of time. And I think there's something wrong with me or something wrong with the relationship because I don't have a relationship to what my needs are. And I don't even know the concept that my need is causing my feeling. I feel hungry. I have a need for food. I feel hungry is a congruent sentence. So there's a certain amount of emotional sobriety that's needed, a certain amount of emotional resilience that's needed, and then what you and I are working on or introducing is emotional congruency.
Right.
I know my feeling, I know my need, and I'm making a request. That's all congruent work.
So a lot of this stuff, I'm sure to people sounds really foreign because it's just super not the languaging that people use. How does someone, like, I can imagine when you introduce this, people are like, okay, people are going to think I'm really weird when I start talking to them that way. Aren't people going to, and they're going to look at you like, what's going on with you?
They do.
Yeah.
But it also is something that we can work through because the listener is mistaking the language they were brought in up with does not match the compassionate language you're bringing to them. So they're going to think it's weird. So some people will give me pushback because, well, you can say it any way you want to. You can psychoanalyze it the way you want.
Yeah.
Don't use this thing, and which means they are now inviting you to empathize with that sentence, with you can psychoanalyze. So you feel irritated and you want me to communicate the way in a way to hear you more fully. Yes. And then all of a sudden the person, then I've just used the skeleton key to get around.
You've also opened the door to potentially learning.
That's right. You're potentially learning.
Passing on this knowledge.
That's correct. That's right.
You said a word a minute ago.
Yeah.
And I think this, if I remember the title correctly, this is going to help us kind of wrap into it. Emotional sobriety.
That's right.
The word sobriety. And what do you mean by that?
Well, sobriety is an interesting word because it's usually associated with rehab. It's usually associated with drug and alcohol and addiction.
Right.
And emotional sobriety, if I put those two things together, that means that I have space between the stimulus, what the person says, and my emotional reaction to what they said or do. So I have a sober response to that, and that's where empathy and compassion show up as the tool of emotional sobriety. I can guess inside somebody else's upset without thinking their upset is caused by me. Their upset is actually happening inside them.
Right.
I might have, I'm holding a little finger, little small thing. I might have said a word that activated that upset, but I most certainly did not cause that upset. Their need caused their upset.
Right.
Not my word. How they took what I said.
Right.
Is their need.
And I think that feeling responsible for other people's results and their feelings and their
Yeah,
their stuff.
that does not go well, and that's where our society and our psychological community needs to do some languaging reframe. Is having the label and diagnosis and waiting too much on problem solving, and most certainly trying to fix feelings, is not a healthy strategy for us. A healthy strategy is the feeling is the indicator. That's the oil light on the car. The need is the oil inside the engine. You and I both know, talking to an oil light, does that work?
Absolutely not.
That's called 8 years of bad therapy.
I mean, you can yell at it, but
That's
gets nothing.
That does not work.
No.
The oil light still says, I'm sorry, you really haven't dealt with the oil inside the engine
Please
yet.
add oil.
That's correct. So you go around, you lift the hood up, and what oil am I putting in here? Is it the need for being heard? Is it the need for respect? Is it recognition? Is it acceptance? Is it kindness?
Right.
Is it
I kind of like the analogy of oil, though. Oil's a lubricant.
It is such a
It
lubricant.
makes things smooth.
It makes it smoother. And the oil light goes off. If I guess the right need, the oil light goes right off.
And it's okay to guess.
It's okay to guess.
It's
The person will self-correct. It is the weirdest thing ever. I've been doing this for a lot of years, over 20, 25 years now, and I'm still surprised that I can walk into an airport with a crying kid and go over and just intentionally say, yeah, they're feeling really sad and upset and they really have a need for choice. And the parents keep saying the word no to them, and the parents not working through the issue.
Yeah.
And it's like that. And I've even done that, on an airplane. It's okay if I can help you with this. Parent goes, huh? And then I start speaking to the kid. The kid quiets down. I go like, how did that work? Is that okay? Parent goes like, what the hell did you just do?
Yeah.
I connected to the feeling and need inside your child.
So I shared that story with you when we talked the other day, is with my youngest daughter. And this was a tool that I had learned before she was born. And it felt a little silly at first, but I did it as a practice.
Yes.
When she would cry, I would say, I see her crying. What do you need? She couldn't talk to me.
No.
Obviously, she couldn't respond. Do you need your diaper changed? Do you need to be held? Are you cold? Do you need me to wrap you warm? And I would just it was just a conversation.
Right.
There was really, on the outside of it,
You were building her vocabulary.
Exactly.
And her articulation of what does she need.
Right. So I
That's a good
started
moment.
that from day one with
That
her.
is a
And
good
I
moment.
like,
It's
and I
chills,
told
but-
you, Bill, we've known each other a super duper long time.
Yep.
And our connection has been back and forth, but I hold deep love in my heart for you as a person, because you planted the seeds very early on for a lot of these skills and a lot of these things. And, like I said, when you talk to a newborn and say, what do you need? People would look at me like, what are you talking about? What is that? I'm like, no. And then as she got a little older and she was 2 and she's in her car and we're in a grocery store and she's absolutely losing her mind, which was very uncharacteristic for her.
Yeah.
What do you need? Are you uncomfortable? And I would talk to her but she still had no words.
That's right.
And as a parent, I was able to, rather than have expectation of her solving the problem, I just talked to her and I stayed in empathy and in compassion.
Yes.
She was hurting.
She was hurting.
She was, and whatever it was, there was something that was going on that she could not articulate to me.
Right.
But I was already so connected to her.
Yeah, it's a good moment.
That I could, remove her from the situation.
Right.
Take her outside and just pick her up and hold her. And just kept saying, what do you need? Yeah. I'm here.
Yeah.
Do you need to be held? Do you, are you hungry? Are you,
Right. Right.
What other, and it ultimately, I just remember this one situation. It just took that space of time and her body relaxed. And I said, it sounds like you just needed to be held and you needed to feel safe and comfortable in my arms, because I can feel your body relaxing right now. And I can hear that you're not crying as hard. And it just, yeah. This was barely a 2-year-old.
That's correct. That's right.
So,
right. People don't realize that early language inquiry is fundamental to them, those children, not thinking that we can read their mind. I feel curious. I feel confused. I hear you're crying over there. Could you be feeling sad because you would like to go outside? Could you be feeling mad because you want to choose to eat different food? Could you be feeling irritated because you just want to play? All of those questions help that young person take accountability and ownership for their own emotional life.
And it connects the languaging to the emotions.
That's right.
Which I think is super important in helping them to build a house of bricks.
Yeah, it's
rather
200.
than a
There's
house of
200
straw.
to 297 molecules of emotion in the body, and each one of them, they all combine differently to create different emotional states. So there's the difference between cortisol, the difference between anger and furiousness is the amount of cortisol or adrenaline in the body. And it's easy to get this if you drop this a little bit. But all you got to do is think crappy thoughts, and then anger goes to furious pretty quickly. Or anger goes, or if you think different thoughts, then anger is going to go to aggravated or irritated down the emotional chain just by language change.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, hey, pick better words and pick better thoughts, and learn here's the language of emotional reduction or congruency, and here's how to piss off people.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got to wrap up here. This
Yes.
is a long session, but
Yeah, it's good fun.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
You wrote a book.
I did.
So I got to let you shamelessly plug the book.
Sure, absolutely. Well, the book is entitled The Emotional Sobriety Solution. And what it is a book that describes all the things that we're talking about here today, and provides the formula for empathy, and then also has a needs inventory sheet in there that you identify the top needs so you can manage your internal feelings, the feelings that come up inside, because they're really inside us anyways. So the feelings, and then be better at guessing the feelings and needs of another person. Then I can guess the feelings and needs. So, and then I have practice activities in there for the reader to actually say, oh, here, try this sentence out. Here's take a guess of a feeling and need word, and then pretty good. And here's my guesses. And then the person goes like, oh my gosh, you're like my T-ball coach. You put the ball there, you ask me to swing, and if I miss it, you adjust the tee, and then, oh, I hit the ball.
Right.
That felt better.
Right.
Oh, and that's the way the book is written is, I feel better by reading and working through this book because I have more language control inside my body.
Right.
About the things that are pissing me off and what to say back to the other person that's doing it.
Just the application of this book is pretty much for anybody.
Yeah, practical.
I mean, it's you want to rebuild your house, your emotional sobriety house.
I was just saying, that's right.
Or you maybe you're in a crisis. Maybe you're in a crisis with your kids, with your partner, with work, or whatever it might be.
Right.
That sounds like this book would be a great tool to
How do
bring all of this stuff that we talked about today together into one spot.
That's right. Yeah. And there's a lot of really nice activities and downloads and things like that. They're a little bit of work to do. It's not, it has a simplicity to it, but it also has us reflect in a safe way about what's going on in our thought structure, and like, I can rewrite this sentence here.
Yeah.
And then it goes better.
Awesome.
So
awesome stuff. Emotional Sobriety Workbook.
Yes, it's
and
solution.
It's on Amazon, or Solution.
It's solution.
Emotional Sobriety Solution.
Yeah.
It's on Amazon.
It is.
Bill Stierle.
That's right.
Stierle.
Yes,
That's right.
that's
okay.
correct.
So thank you very much for coming here today. This was awesome. It's so great reconnecting with you.
Absolutely.
And being connected with you.
That's right.
It's been amazing. And
it's fantastic.
Probably we could talk for 10 more hours on all of
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I just may have to have you come back.
Sounds good.
Well, thank you very much for joining me today. And this was Lips of Steel, talking about communication and how we can better work through our relationships in our life with better communication. Please like this episode, share it with your friends, and put any comments in the comment section below. If you have questions, I will do my best to get those answered, and maybe I can even get Bill to chime in on a few things.
Absolutely.
And, just keep this conversation
Keep
going.
the conversation
and
going.
stay connected.
That's right. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.